passionate for what you love and you're serious about it, when you see our cameras at the show, then we want to talk about it. Fair weather fantasy, not a fly, we seek nerds that are true. Just beware not to piss us off, it's the one thing not to do. It's the Angrygeeks show. It's the Angrygeeks show.
Now I can't hear you.
Yeah, no, I said we had some difficulties tonight. I don't know what happened there. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Angrygeeks Show. I am Lewis Perry. With me always is my sister from another mister, the one and only that Wonder Woman, Jamie Dolan. And we got this cat down here tonight, Dave Schwartz, the creator of Confederate Monster. Hey! And here comes Jamie's fan club. Go ahead, everybody, say hi to Jamie. Let's get this over with.
Hi.
I'm going to start doing like the romper room thing. Romper, stomper, dumper, do. Jamie, we all love you. Something like that. And oh, thank you, Thomas. Hello, our friends. Yes, Brian, you could. Wow, evening. Hello. Oh, and Nicole actually says, hello, Lewis and Jamie. Wow, I am touched. Thank you very much for that. Tim, hello. See, Dave, I told you, we're not going to get in word-wise for a little bit until all this is done. Oh, another Nicole. Hi, Lewis and Jamie. Another one. Look at that. Hi, Aviva. How are you? And welcome. And Kevin says that he brought his brother along tonight, too.
Hello.
Anyhow, we got a big show for you guys tonight. I've read the book that we're going to be talking about, and so has Jamie. The book is amazing. Comic book fans are absolutely going to love this. The concept is mind-blowing. You would never think about a book like this to combine these two properties. So
I think not only with the concept, but the artwork and just the color palette are amazing. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
So, Dave, where did the concept come up for Confederate Monster? What did you have a dream, or how? I mean, I'd love to hear where people's ideas come from. How did you come up with this?
Sure. So for me, it was actually pretty quick and simple. I was trying to kind of test myself as a writer, because I'm more of an illustrator and artist. I went to school for illustration, so being a writer, I don't really have as much experience. So I wanted to just try to see if I could test myself, and I wrote a quick pitch for a sci-fi story, for a fantasy story. I had already written a superhero story, so I was just trying to come up with something for horror. And I thought, for me, I've always loved the monster genre of horror. And I've always really been a huge Frankenstein fan. So, I thought, hey, let's try to see what we can do with Frankenstein. And I took a look at a lot of what's been done with the character. And honestly, I felt like it's just sort of the same kind of thing, like redone, rehashed in a different way. And I just felt like there was more you could do with that story. So I was trying to come up with a different time period too, because we had seen stories that were set in the original time period, stories that were set in the future, that kind of thing. And then I started thinking, well, World War II, that's kind of been done. World War I don't know. But then I landed on the Civil War, and I thought, this is kind of an interesting time period, because it's somewhere between the original story, when it was told around, I think, the mid 17, something like that, into more the more familiar modern age. And then sort of the parallels between the time period of Civil War and the Frankenstein mythos were just kind of erupting out of nowhere. And in that way, I think a lot of the main hits of the story kind of wrote themselves. It's a kind of a match made in heaven in my mind.
Well, I'll tell you what, the wife of the main character. I don't want to give away too much. The second I saw her, I'm like, looks like Bride of Frankenstein. Was that on purpose, or
Oh,
did that just happen?
Well, it was
Oh,
like a costume party. I picked up on that too, and I was like,
Yeah.
"That's amazing."
Yeah. Well, I always when I wrote the original pitch for it, I always wanted to begin the story to introduce the characters by having like kind of a masquerade ball, because I thought it would be an interesting way of kind of tying in, you know, some of the themes of what I'm going to do with the characters later, but kind of foreshadowing them in the beginning. So yeah, it was definitely a fun little scene to come up with and write.
Everything
I tell
flowed
you-
really well too.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, it did. It wasn't like, you know, because I feel like especially mixing the two and the time period, bringing that all together to be cohesive, it would have been hard for me. I don't know, but it just flowed.
Well, thank you.
now this was a labor. You did everything on this, right? You wrote and you did all the artwork, correct?
Correct. I even did all the lettering, all the graphic design, doing all the marketing promotion. So one-man shop.
Dude, I mean, it was incredible. I mean, it was an easy read,
Yep.
a compelling read. You did not want to put it down. The second you sent it over to me, of course, Jamie and I talk about all our guests. I emailed it to her and I sent her a text message. Hey, we just got that. I already read it. What? And I was like, well, he's booked. We booked him already.
Did,
This is
and
just
I was like, I love the artwork. I love the color. I love the, like, it was just, I did read it again yesterday because when I read it the first time, I was actually at work, but you know, nobody needs to know that.
So what's the issue story arc for this?
So I'm looking at 6 issues for this first story. However, the first issue and the last issue are double issues. So it's really in page count, it's actually closer to 8. And I do that just because I like to enjoy my entertainment that way. So when I watch a TV show or I read a book, comic, I really enjoy to have a big intro to it so I can really get invested in the characters, get invested in the world, the story. But then at the end, I like more, you know, of a payoff, you know, lots of stuff to just really, you know, make me feel like I'm, you know, I've invested my time in this property wisely.
Okay. We have a quick question for you. Jamie, you want to read it? Because it's from one of your fans.
Yeah. So Kevin wants to know if it's going to be available to purchase in comic stores.
Well, I do have a retailer tier for the campaign, so that if a comic book store wants to, you know, get in on the game, you know, you can get 5 copies of issues 1, 2, and 3 for a really good price. You know, I'm not soliciting it myself to comic book stores, but I'm never going to forget them. So I always want to try to give them a bit of a break on all my crowdfunding campaigns.
Okay, so let's talk about the crowdfunding right now. Where are we stand? When does it launch? What kind of tiers do we got? What kind of rewards do we got? What do the fans have?
Yeah, I mean, with this one, you're going to get lots of fun stuff. So the campaign's been going for a couple weeks. I got about 10 more days left. We are really, really close to our goal. I think I'm only a couple $100 away from hitting our goal. With this, you're going to get a lot of the typical stuff. You're going to get your T-shirt, your hat, sticker coaster. But I got lots of different prints. I've even got handmade prints that I'm going to be doing on aged paper. So it's like black and white prints done on hand-aged paper. And one of those is going to actually be a wanted poster for the Frankenstein monster.
Oh, that's cool.
I have a prototype of it. I'll show you real quick. So
hold on. Let's
cool.
bring you.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's the ink itself actually comes out rather weathered. I do a process to it in the digital space to make it kind of look old and aged, and then I actually go ahead and put a little bit of this like burnt edge, you know, kind of effect to it to really make it look authentic.
That's cool.
That is beautiful, man.
Thank
Now,
you.
how much did that? How long did it take you to do that?
Not very long. I mean, it takes probably, I would say maybe a half an hour to do the dyeing process for each page, because you have to let it soak for about 15, 20 minutes and then you got to dry it. So it is a bit of a labor of love. But I think it's definitely worth it. They come out really cool. They look very awesome on the wall. And especially this wanted poster, because it's not like you can just go online and look up, Frankenstein monster wanted poster,
Right. Yeah. So Tim
Right.
wants to know who or what influenced you in illustration?
Oh man, I think my major influences have been Sean Murphy from White Knight at DC. Super inspiring, not only from artwork but from a writing standpoint. I love the way he writes. I also am a huge fan of Francis Manapul at DC. Dan Mora, who's now at DC, he was doing independent stuff for a while with Power Rangers and Claws. But his stuff on Batman Future State is just amazing. But then Ryan Ottley too. Ryan Ottley has been a huge inspiration for me. Just the way he draws faces and motion and all that kind of stuff. So
Cool. All right, so 8 issues total. I mean, 6 issues, the double-sided issue. I want to know the influence. I mean, where did the story come from? This is what I want to know. I want to know. I mean, where did it come from? Because this is pretty macabre. I mean, where did it come from?
So what I've always tried to do with my stories is I'm trying to tell something more than just the surface. I'm trying to get into the human condition and kind of explore, like what makes us tick and who we are as individuals and as a collective. So my first book, it was all very superhero-y, that kind of stuff, very altruistic, hero kind of stuff. But then my second book was a sci-fi story. It was basically like Nikola Tesla and Albert Einstein partner together and go on a space adventure. So it's this really weird kind of like story about the future if people with really good ideas have been just given a lot of money. So not exactly what we have today. So, but with this story, I wanted to explore more of the human kind of element, to science, like what we had to kind of go through in a rudimentary kind of way in order to understand more about the human body from a physical perspective, not more of a high level kind of science fiction perspective with my last story. So this one, I love the parallels between the Civil War and Frankenstein, because during the Civil War is when we really innovated our ideas of amputation and how we were going to deal with these kind of catastrophic wounds, because before that people just died, right? But at that time we were learning, how to cut things off in a way so that we could preserve the body and learn more about what is possible with the human body. And I thought that those two things together, the theme of that with Frankenstein, just really worked. But again, this story is told 8 years after the original. So, the original monster's been around for a long time. Victor Frankenstein has been in an insane asylum going mad for years. The story follows Igor as he's kind of reestablished himself in Virginia as a reconstructive surgeon. So he's the one kind of, innovating this technology. And I think, like, again, that is what I started with. And then the story sort of just wrote itself from there, because the main theme of my story is the monstrous side of the human psyche and how far, we have gone both in war and in science to really push the limits of what the humans can do.
Okay. You said Igor. Jamie, do you pronounce it Igor? Because that's what I was saying, Igor.
I say Igor.
Well,
Igor.
I'm a Frankenstein fan, so.
But yeah, it's probably Igor. But
well, everybody pronounces it Igor. I think really the only pronunciation of Igor has been in Young Frankenstein. I don't really think I can think of another movie that they pronounced it any other way. So I don't know.
Okay. Fair enough.
Sounds good either way. I don't know.
Yeah, either way. But I have to tell you, the last pages of that book just blew me away of issue 1.
Yeah, I same. Like, what a cliffhanger! Oh my god!
Yes, I know. I'm like,
this is where it ends. Like, you can't just leave it there.
I read it and I'm like, gee, Dave, thanks. Just give us one issue.
That's exactly what
leaving it like this.
Well,
Thanks a lot.
So,
all right,
yeah,
Nicole has a question.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Nicole wants to know if you could sit down with one author, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Oh my goodness! Wow, I've been getting lots of good questions. I've been on 2 other streams today, so I've been getting lots of good questions today. Man, that's a good question. I just started watching. Well, I just finished, I should say, the first season of Altered Carbon on Netflix, and I think that has gotten me in this Edgar Allan Poe kind of thing. So, I for some reason, I'll probably just go with Edgar Allan Poe. Yeah.
I'm good with Edgar.
Yeah.
I like that answer.
Share a brandy. That'd be great.
And Brian Rose is talking about Abby Normal, which we all know is from Young Frankenstein.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm a huge Frankenstein fan, and leading up into making this book, I kind of went back and rewatched all my favorite Frankenstein movies. The original Young Frankenstein. I'm a huge fan of that one. Some of the Hammer films, even some of the modern takes. I recently watched the Daniel Radcliffe one, the Victor Frankenstein that came out a couple years back. Even that, I liked where they went with it, but even that was just so predictable, same kind of thing, and that's why I wanted to just take it out of that original monster creation story and let's try something new and see, what else can be done. Right. So.
Yeah. Your
idea, it just fits so well.
Thank you.
It really is. I couldn't it's just perfect, honestly.
Thank you.
I think it is.
Yeah, I love it. I dig it. I can't wait for the next issue. The one panel that you show of the monster, to me, it reminded me of De Niro's version of the monster.
Yeah, in a way.
That's what I saw. Yeah, that's what I saw when I saw it. Were you going for that, or were you going for a different type of version of the monster?
My monster is he's different. He's a bit different. He's different for a very specific reason, though. It's not like I just said, "Hey, I want to make it different." I don't ever just do things willy-nilly. I want to make sure that every choice that I make in a story has purpose. So that the design of the monster, because my monster too, he doesn't have the traditional rivets on the neck. My monster, he has a series of them down his spine, because to me, I felt like that was a little bit more kind of macabre and creepy, but actually maybe even more scientifically accurate, because I would imagine you'd want to shock the entire nervous system up the spine, not just right in the neck. So again, I was just kind of trying to think not only in terms of trying to innovate it, but also trying to elevate it to another place where maybe it's a little more plausible.
Well, I'll tell you what, the book shocked me. That's all I got to say. J-Bo McNeil has a quick J-Bo McNeil has a quick question.
Yeah, so J-Bo wants to know, who's your favorite Marvel villain and why?
Oh boy, so many good options. I think I'm going to go with Dr. Doom, because Dr. Doom is a master of his own domain, and he doesn't want to necessarily take over the world. He just wants to carve out his own little kingdom, and wants no one else to be a part of it. So that's, I think, why I like, Dr. Doom the most, because he's not just the typical villain. He's not just trying to conquer the world. He's just trying to kind of be the master of his own domain.
All right. And Kevin has another question.
Awesome. Yeah, Kev wants to know, would you sell the rights and go to Hollywood? I could definitely see this as a movie.
Well, I think I might want to stop in maybe Netflix town first before I go straight to Hollywood. But
Netflix is a great way. Yeah.
I mean, just as a creative person, I just feel like I would have more flexibility at home in, say, a Netflix or a Hulu or an Amazon or something like that. I see that as sort of the way that a lot of these types of stories are going to get made. Especially because I do want to push the envelope with it, and I would never want anyone to be like, well, I don't think audiences are going to go for that. Well, no. I want to just do it and see how they react. So
I think, I'm sorry, Dave. I think Netflix will be the perfect home for this.
Yeah.
yeah, after what I've seen in issue 1, Netflix is the way to go. If we were to go Hollywood, notice how I said we. Uh, if we were to go Hollywood,
Right.
Netflix will be the definitely. Who do you see bring them to life? Who do you see casting as your characters?
Oh,
Besides
man.
Jamie and I. Jamie and I.
It's funny you say that because one of the things I've been kind of doing to promote the book and tease the book is trying to cast, some of my characters. So I haven't gotten around to casting the monster just yet. I'm still trying to find like the perfect actor to portray that. But one of my perfect choices I thought really not only would work well in the look, but in his acting chops is Willem Defoe as Dr. Frankenstein. I think Willem Defoe as Dr. Frankenstein would be killer because my Dr. Frankenstein is introduced as an insane person, like he's like biting the heads off of rats and stuff. So like he can handle that crazy, insane side, but then also that very like stoic, smart, scientist kind of side.
Well, keep going.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said.
I know. I was like waiting.
I did say well because what you just said is a perfect segue into bringing it to our question of the week. So, can I bring up the question of the week?
Yeah, go for it. I love.
All right, let's get to question of the week because what you said is kind of creepy. So about biting rats' head off. So let's get to question of the week really quick.
It is now time for the Angrygeeks question of the week. What gives you the creeps during conventions? What gives you the creeps during conventions? That's this week's question of the week.
Whoa. So, Dave, you brought up biting heads off of rats, which is really creepy. What gives you the creeps at a convention?
Nobody's ever bitten a head off a rat at a convention. I can tell you that much.
That we know of. That we know of.
Yeah,
so, what gives you the creep?
Okay,
guys, hold it. Well, comments are coming in. Dave, first you answer the question.
What
gives you the creeps?
Before COVID, I probably would have had a different answer. Post COVID, I think I'm going to go with COVID. But no, I think the things that always catch my eye and creep me out is the cosplays that I can't quite like physically figure out in my brain, like the creepy ones where people like walk around on like stilts or sticks and stuff. And I look at it for a second. I'm like, wait, where are their hands? Where are their feet? What is that? What is happening? Yeah, that gives me the creeps.
Okay. Jamie, what gives you the creeps at a convention?
Mine are the people that have no, what's the best way to put this? Regard for personal space.
Boundaries.
Okay. All right. Now let's see. Tim Wiley says.
Oh, photographers without boundaries. Yeah, that's a big one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and Nicole. Oh, Nicole doesn't like clowns. Anyone dressed like a clown.
And J-Mo.
Oh, you give him the creeps, Lou.
And let's see. And we're getting a bunch of comments. And Thomas says
clowns. Tom doesn't like clowns either.
Wow.
Clowns seem to be a winner.
And Brian Rose says nothing comes to mind and true to me. It's been too long. Okay. And Tim Jones. Jamie?
People that ask to buy a book so they have something to read in the bathroom.
Oh, God.
Well, at least they aren't telling you they're going to use it for toilet paper.
Right.
Brian says, oh, now I remember. We were between two restrooms one year. That was creepy. Yeah.
That's creepy.
Viva says she was going to say something similar to what I said. Boundaries are big, especially with cosplayers and those who don't respect their space. Yeah. Or it's like I'm a hugger. Like I hug everybody, but then there's just this really inappropriate touching that happens. That's not okay. Thomas loves clowns, but he's busting someone's chops.
Oh,
I think that would be Nicole's chops.
I think so too. I do. I do. Okay. Well, that was a good question, and of
It
course,
was.
Dave, you segued right into that. Oh, and hold on, we got another one.
Jabo says the smell coming from the bathrooms when you're out in the middle of the convention floor.
Oh.
And I imagine being stuck in between them was probably awful.
Yeah. What gives?
Yeah.
And I'll answer the question. What gives me the creeps is sometimes the food at the convention. You have these booths that sell jerky, like they have kangaroo jerky and alligator jerky, and of course you also have the booth alligator actually there. And no, I hate no. Jamie knows that for a fact. I do not do reptiles. No, that gives me the creep. I will stay away from the reptile booth at the convention.
I need to make a Medusa cosplay and have all those snakes.
that I'll be fine with that because I know it's fake, unless of course I'll be in the. Yeah, okay. I'll be sleeping in the hotel room, but I'll wake up. It's like next to me. That would suck. Absolutely. Oh, no way. So, Dave, once issue 1 comes out, how long before issue 2 comes out? Because I really want to read it.
So, with this campaign, it's actually 4 issues 1, 2, and 3. So, when you contribute to this campaign, you're going to get a physical copy of not only the first issue, but of 2 and 3. And 3 will again leave you on another cliffhanger, because I, love my cliffhangers. But then you have 4, 5, and 6 to look forward to, and that's going to be made later this year. And I'm hopeful to be back around doing another crowdfunder to put everything into a nice hardbound collected edition next year, probably about the same time.
Oh, okay. Ooh. Yeah. Now with the hardbound, I got a suggestion. Just hear me out. With the hardbound, and this being Frankenstein, anything special about the hardbound cover? Anything in the works to make it look kind of like Frankenstein-ish?
Yeah, I got lots of ideas, lots of cool things we could do to make that look very special for fans.
Oh, like can we get a scoop? Oh, well, what does Nicole say?
I don't want to say too much. But
you have to let them have some surprises, Lou.
It definitely opens you up to lots more fun, fancy things.
Oh, fair enough. What does Nicole say?
I should walk around like Britney Spears with a stake around my neck just for you.
Nicole, you do know that we have to share a hotel room at a time. That would totally freak me out.
I would love to have a snake, so
no, that would suck so bad.
Oh boy,
that would suck so bad. So, Dave, the con season is up in the air for this year, but do you have anything planned out of where you're going to be, where you're going to be bringing this book? Do you have any plans or anywhere you want to go?
Yeah, I don't really have any major Comic-Con appearance plans at the moment. Like you said, everything's really up in the air. And for me, I'm putting all of my effort into this book, so I'm trying to make sure that I maximize not only my time but my financial expense into it as well. So I don't have anything planned at the moment. However, I will say that since beginning promotion for this campaign, I have met so many new people, and it has opened me up to a much larger community. And I've been hearing a lot about different, online cons and community get-ups or meetups and things like that. So, we'll see.
So cool. Now, we'll bring it up again at the end, but I just wanted to maybe say now, like where people can find you. and that kind of thing.
Sure.
We'll repeat it later, but I don't know, people watching might want to hop on and multitask and
absolutely. So, I mean, first and foremost, the Indiegogo campaign is the first place to check out the book, where you can see all the cool perks for it too. I mean, I just released a new perk the other day for a 3D printed bust of Dr. Frankenstein. It's super cool. You can get a small one or a large one, but to find me in other places, I actually have a Patreon for this book where you get to see all the behind the scenes stuff. So I take you through every page and I show you the roughs, the pencils, the inks, the colors, everything. And then I also have some behind the scenes videos and things that I've made along the way that you can check out there too. And I'm on Patreon, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Instagram, and it's all this handle that you see right here, Dave Swartz Art.
Well, that makes it easy.
Super easy.
All right, what I'm going to do right now, Jamie, keep going for a second. I'm going to pull up Dave's Indiegogo so people can see it.
Take the wheel.
Woo! Ah!
Yeah, take the go.
He does this to me. I don't even I space it every time. I'll have all this good stuff, and then bloop.
I was on a show where the host just disappeared on me, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm on someone else's."
I'm starting to look at my arms.
Yeah, you are
going away. Woo! That's
being
Lou's
snapped out of existence.
Infinity Gauntlet. He had it on earlier. That's what it is. It's because I'm Wonder Woman. It's just slow effect. Yeah. But so, how long have you been working on this? Since you are doing everything.
Yeah, I think I started writing about a year ago. I wanted to finish writing the whole thing first before I started putting any artwork together. I just felt like I needed a really solid, idea of where everything was going to go before I started doing any art. And I have changed quite a bit, especially the ending. I've actually changed the ending about 3 or 4 times since.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But it's all in service to the story. So, I had an ending to begin with that I thought was meh, all right. But then I started really kind of having more ideas about it, thinking more about it, talking to other people about it. And it just started to really get me thinking. And I kind of went in a different direction, and that sent me in another direction. And then I've ultimately kind of, I think, landed on a really solid ending that's really cool. And I don't think a lot of people are going to see coming. So that in and of itself, I think has been really great, to have some time to kind of just, let it sit. But I started drawing, I would say probably around April of last year.
Okay.
I can get about a page a day done if I have the whole day. So I can draw it, I can color it, and I can letter it in about a day. My style is a little more simplified in a lot of ways. Like I draw a lot of anatomy a lot more simple. I tend to not put in as much detail as some other artists do to render things. So I can get things done a little bit faster. But I will say I've been doing comics for 6-7 years now. So my process has really gotten to a point where I've refined it so much that, I don't even know if I can improve it anymore at this point and eke out any more time. But I think so far it's coming along pretty well. Having done everything myself to get just about 80 pages done in under a year, I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, and I know I said it, but I love the artwork in this so much. Like, this is totally my thing. This is what you're doing here. It's
Thank you.
I'm definitely I need it in my life. And I can't post comments. Lou has control of that, but Tim Wiley had a really good one. He said you have to do something really special with the spine on the hardcover.
Oh, heck yeah. Absolutely.
That's an amazing idea.
I really want to make the hardcover just something super special. I got a hardcover collection of the book Claws by Dan Mora and Grant Morrison, and it was a beautifully put together piece. And I just wanted to do the same thing for this book because I think this book really deserves it. It's in a time period that I think just fits well with that hardbound kind of look.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, Dave, what we're showing here, oh my God. This is just beautiful. For those of you listening on the Earplug Podcast Network and not watching, this artwork is just unbelievable. I mean, the detail in this is just, it's just amazing.
Thank you.
And
yeah, I try to do a lot with the little. So, I'm trying to make as big of an impact as I can, but without trying to just noodle it to death,
Well, it's just so it's just everything is so balanced. I think it just flows. The art goes. It's just gorgeous. I think it has that macabre kind of gritty feel about it, but it's not dark and gritty. I don't know how to describe it. But Nicole has a comment. She says the art is amazing, and that shirt, chef kiss.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. And then
on the screen right now we have the monster, and he's definitely wearing a Old West /
I love it.
Looks like a duster. I know, yep. Dave. This is definitely an Angrygeeks book, man. This is like amazing. Jabo, yes, we will send over a link to the campaign. It'll be on the Angry Geek Show actual page. This is just insane. And actually, I will post it right now in the comments for those of you want it.
Yeah, I can't do that. You have all that power.
The power.
There.
Yeah, I can just read
there
and
you go.
Smile.
The link is in the comments on both YouTube and on
Thomas
YouTube
says someone needs
and
to cosplay
Facebook.
that. You're Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Tom, maybe it should be you.
Let me ask you a question. Yes, Tom, you should do it. How would you feel if a cosplayer comes up and says, "Oh my God, your work is amazing," and you look up from doing a commission, and there is your creation come to life? How would that make you feel? Would it bring a tear to your eye? Would you be flattered? Would you be like, "What the hell is wrong with you?" How would you feel? Right? And you need this.
I would be flattered. I would be over the moon, honestly, to see that. That's pretty amazing. I mean, I'm always a huge fan of just seeing other fan art of my character. I did a short art contest for the campaign last couple of weeks, and we had some entries come in, which was really cool, and it was really awesome to see other people's interpretations of the character, especially a cowboy version of Frankenstein. Like, I don't think I've ever seen that before, and as soon as it popped in my head, I just thought that is too perfect not to do. So I just had to. I think it was the very first concept drawing I did for the book was just a quick sketch of Cowboy Frankenstein. So,
well, I tell you what, man, and Axel says that he'll do it. Axel will definitely do it. Axel, the official bodyguard of the Angry Geek Show, dude. I mean, the book. You are very, very close to meeting your goals. Okay. So, once you meet, there's going to be a sequel. There gotta be a.
I mean,
you got something planned?
Yeah,
you gotta give us something. Come on. You gotta give us something.
I can't say anything yet. I mean,
it's all about the cliffhangers, Lou.
Yeah, we're only halfway.
He just draws you in.
I will say though, I will give you one little hint, just a little hint. So I have multiple. So I like to write like little stingers, like little kind of what could happen kind of thing next. And I have written about 3 or 4 for each character, but they're all like a little bit into the future after the story concludes. So it essentially catches you back up with each character as to what they've been doing, what they've been up to. But then it ends each scene with like another little cliffhanger as to how all these characters could then come back together again.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Axel says, Dave, I'll hit what? I'll hit
Lewis
you. We'll talk about it. Give me your thoughts.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can only count the. All right. No, I can't read, and I can only count a potato. With that, we're going to get to the top 5 and see how I did this week. And welcome to this week's top 5. This week's Top 5 is brought to you Alternate Universe LLC, New Haven and Milford. This week's Top 5, Super Pets. Number 5. From the pages of Spider-Man, the one and only Miss Lion. Number 4. From the pages of Thor, it's Tooth Gnasher and Tooth Grinder. Number 3. Straight from Gotham City, it's Ace the Bat Hound. Number 2. A fiery horse with a speed of light, the one and only Lone Ranger Silver. This week's honorable mention, from the depths of the sea, call him a seahorse, call him a sea dragon, Aquaman's Storm. And our number 1, straight from Smallville, the one, the only, Crypto the Superdog. And there you have it, folks. This week's Top 5 Angry Geek Style. If you have a suggestion to the Top 5, let us know. Huh? Huh?
Yeah.
What do you think?
It wasn't that bad. That actually wasn't that bad. But can I tell you something that I learned while I was researching this? Because it's really weird.
What?
So,
What?
Supergirl had her horse. I think it was
A horse.
Comet.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. He looked like
she had a
that.
horse.
But the
Yeah.
horse was her boyfriend. Like,
Yep.
I totally read. So he apparently was a centaur and turned human and was her boyfriend at some point and then went back to being her horse. And that's really weird.
I didn't know that at all.
Yes, I totally.
And she had a
I was
cat,
like,
and there was a monkey.
yeah, she did. I saw the cat,
Girl.
yeah, like a lightning bolt. But
Yeah, that's
the
streaky.
whole horse thing, yeah, definitely look into the horse thing. It's very strange. And apparently the horse also dated Lois Lane at some point.
Weird.
Yeah.
There-
Yeah.
In the
So-
60s.
He must have been a good mount.
Oh.
Oh! Oh! My God.
Too good. Just too good.
That's my dad joke for the day.
That was good.
Now, if I said that, you would have been like all over me going, oh my God, Lou, that was so stupid. And everybody was saying, yes, Brian Rose says, super creepy. Yes, that was.
Yeah.
And of course, Kevin laughing my ass off.
I'll hear about that at work tomorrow.
And I
No,
enjoyed the list. Not a hater here. Look at that.
That was one of the better top 5s you did. I have no shame face for this one.
I must say that I back up
Really?
Kevin's comment there in the chat about where is Gleek. Where is Gleek?
Well, I went with comic books. I went with comics, not the TV shows.
Okay, fair
Even
enough.
though Miss Lion did come from the TV show and ended up in the comics, Gleek was on the TV show and ended up in the comics, but it was a little bit later as well. I didn't want to do two things at one time, so I kept Gleek out, and
That's okay.
there you go. That's
okay.
why
That's
Gleek wasn't there.
That is acceptable.
That's why Gleek wasn't there.
That
So,
was my only
but
other.
I had to get Miss Lions.
Yeah.
Okay, but I had to get not many. Believe it or not, not many people know who Miss Lion was, and not many people know who Tooth Grinder and Tooth Gnasher are either. When I was doing my list, my wife looked at it and go, "Who the hell are they?" They're Thor's goats. She goes, "Thor has goats." I'm like, "Yes, Thor has goats." How the
That's
hell
what
you
I'm
think
gonna
you get
name my
brown?
goats. When I get goats, that's what I'm gonna name
Yeah.
them.
Tooth gnasher and a tooth grinder? Really?
Yeah. When I put the pile of poop next to the house they built next door.
All right, so Dave, you're gonna
Yeah.
get a pet that you don't have already. What are you gonna name it?
Oh man! All right. So ever since I was a little kid, I've always wanted to name a pet Grandpa or Grandma, so that when you're on the phone and they're going to the bathroom on the floor, you can say, "Grandma, no, not that."
That's bloody brilliant.
Sorry, but I had to.
Or, when
No.
they're scooting and you'd be like, oh, that's just grandma scooting her butt on the floor again.
It's fine.
That is funny. Oh my God, that's
Maybe I'll try
funny.
humor next time for my next comic. I'll do a humorous comic.
All right, for those of you listening or watching right now, if you were going to get a pet, the one that you don't already have, and you were going to name it, let us know in the comments right now what you would name it. Jamie, what would you actually name your next pet? Even though you already have a zoo and we love you for it, what would you name your next pet?
Well, I told Ian that if I ever got a Doberman, I was going to name it Death Blaster. So I think I need another Doberman so I can name it Death Blaster.
Ew. That is
Because I just have Nero, which is a cool name. But, because it was this thing. He's like, what do you want a Doberman for? I was like, because they're cool and they're scary and they look mean and you could call it something like Death Blaster and nobody will bother you. And that's just how that happens.
This is great.
And
Death
the dog
Blaster.
is literally afraid of his own farts. So,
Go for it.
J-Bo McNeil says he would name it would be Orko. I could see J-Bo with a little goldfish. Oh, hello, Orko. And feeding a fish
yeah.
Orko. Oh my God. So Dave, hold on one second. And we have another comment. Brian Rose. What does Brian Rose have to say, Jamie?
He wanted to have a white kitten named Chili and a red kitten named Pepper.
That's cool.
Oh,
I like that.
very, very unique.
Yeah.
And Nicole comes.
She wanted a black French bulldog and named him Sirius Black.
Nice.
Oh, very nice. That's Angry Geeks approved, and you get a no prize for that answer right there. That is great. So, Dave, let me ask you a quick question. I just got blown out of the water. I forgot my question I was going to ask you. Holy moly.
My goodness.
My God. Oh, commissions. Are you open for commissions? And what? No, Kevin. I am not even going to put that comment on screen because this is on television. I am not going to put that on. Yes, I am. And that is it. I am not going to do. Dave. Dave, commissions. What
Yes.
are you open to? What are you open to? And what is the worst or weirdest commission that you have ever drawn for anyone?
So, I am always open for commissions. I love doing commissions. I typically do black and whites and watercolors. Someone wants a little bit of color in there, so I can do that too. And actually, with this campaign, I have commissions as perk tiers. I actually have a cover commission. So if anybody has a comic book, you're looking to get somebody to do a variant cover or maybe a variant print for your crowdfunder, there's an option for you. When it comes to the craziest commissions I've ever received, at a Comic-Con, I go to one particular Comic-Con in my area nearly every year. I've been probably about half a dozen times. And I have the same fan who finds me every single time. And she requests a particular, not just, any old character, but typically really, really bizarre characters wearing lingerie. So the last one I got was Godzilla wearing lingerie. Yeah, and I did it, and I thought it turned out pretty good. So I've done a series of characters in lingerie for that particular fan.
All right, now, you say lingerie. Are you talking garters?
Godzilla,
With-
this one, he was wearing, it was sort of like a normal kind of bra, but it had kind of like a veil kind of thing to kind of hide his belly because he's sort of self-conscious. So, yeah.
Oh man.
Brian says the centaur was creepy.
That's right. It was really creepy.
I don't know how to follow that up with any type of question. I mean, we asked this question to a lot of different artists. Almost every artist that's been on the show. We asked, "What's the worst convention we did?" And we've got some answers, but never. I was thinking, okay, Superman in lingerie, but Godzilla? What the hell's wrong with this woman? What the?
Pretty bizarre.
All right. Well, speaking of Godzilla, we've been talking about this for the past couple of weeks. And Dave, since you are here, Team Kong or Team Godzilla?
Oh boy, gotta go Kong on that one. Kong's my boy.
Ooh. Okay. All right. Now what do you think, Jamie? It's up there.
You know I'm Godzilla. I'm Team Godzilla.
Yes, I know. And Thomas
snakes.
says, I just got here Godzilla in underwear. Okay. Hey, it's the Angry Geeks. You know how Jamie and I roll, Thomas. Wolfie, you know
in
that
our
we
underwear.
just and wow. Yeah.
Oh man.
Okay, so Dave, let's get back on track here and talk about your campaign, because I got Godzilla wearing negligee in my head. Let's talk more about your rewards. You're almost there to your goal. I'm trying to get back on track. This is freaking hilarious. You
can't stop thinking about the horse, can you?
No, I can't. Damn you, Dave. Damn you.
He's gonna get off and look at
Do you have a copy of this? Because I really want to see this.
Oh man, I'll have to give a deep dive into my phone. I think because I usually take photographs of commissions while I'm there on my phone, so it might be in my phone. I'll see.
Because of what your art style, it's gotta be amazing. Second, it has to be one of the most friggin' funniest things in the friggin' world.
I had fun with it. I also with the Hulk and Thor once. They were trying on little bikini thongs. Yeah.
For the same girl?
Yeah, same fan. Yep, she finds me every year.
What is wrong? Her name wasn't Jamie.
Maybe she's.
She was a fellow cosplayer, though. I will say that.
What were you gonna say, Jamie?
I don't remember.
So, will you ever come to a convention up in our area, up here in New England, if you invited or if you just had a good spot?
Sure.
Would you make the travel?
Absolutely.
Where are you?
All right.
I'm in Mitten, Michigan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, good. The campaign almost done.
Mm-hmm.
Few $100 left.
Just
okay. What's that?
Just a couple hundred.
Just a couple hundred. Okay. You got champagne bottles already chilling. So close. What is the time frame? How many days do we have left?
You only got 10 days.
10 days left.
People.
10 days. Getting to the
10
end.
days. 10 days left. We already brought up the website. We showed you all the different tiers, all the different rewards. If you want a commission, you have those different commission pieces. You have that beautiful reward poster. That thing is just friggin' amazing. Dave, you want to bring it up one more time so we can see the people that just started joining us, please? Look at this reward poster. That is just beautiful. You have never seen Frankenstein's monster like this once before. 88 counts of murder. Look at that. That is just what I am waiting to find out is how the monster got down south. Now, I do have a quick question for you. What the way the world is today, you actually tackle a subject,
Yeah.
the Civil War.
Actually, good question.
Now, I waited to the end for this just to be on the safe side. Did you have any reservations about this? Did you like, well, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't? Because the topic could be a little risque, but you handled it really good and really tasteful with the central character in the first pages of the first issue. I was like, whoa, this straight to the point. No, it was wrong. Here you go. Bravo for you for that. But were you afraid of any backlash?
You know, it's funny because when I was first making it, the thought never crossed my mind.
Yeah.
I was so invested in the story, and I was so sure that what I was doing was a really good match made in heaven, that the story couldn't not be, well received. So when I started to talk to people about it, there were a couple of people that kind of put their eyebrow up at me and was like, why are you using that word though? And I eventually I just kind of came to the conclusion that they have their own opinion, but from my opinion, or my perspective, the title is not just one word, it's two words. And the second word is monster. And when you put those two words together, it should create a different context in your brain.
Right.
And that's in my opinion. So if someone has a different opinion and is turned off by that first word and can't get to the second one, then that's their problem.
Well, totally. Because I tell you what, the title works. You have to read the book. You have to get over your reservations and just read it. There is a statement right in that first issue with the main character, and he just tells you who exactly the true monster is. And I applaud you for that. I was floored by the book. I love it. I'm definitely going to back this because I want to read issue 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. Yeah, I want it. I don't want any of the tea. I don't want anything else. I just want the book. I friggin' love it, man. Just amazing. The first word is Confederate, Wolfie. Confederate Monster is the title of the book. Make sure you support the GoFundMe, the Indigo. I can't even say it.
Indiegogo.
There you go. I can't say it. Why can't I say that? My God, it's like I can't say the other guy's name.
Lewis,
what's the actor?
I can't with you. Channing Tatum.
What's the guy?
Are we gonna do this again? Really say it.
I can't say that guy's name. I can't say that guy's name.
Do it.
Channing
Tater Tot.
Tater Tot. Tatum Channing. Anyway, I can't say that guy's name. Anyway,
that's great.
Anyway, Dave, please tell everyone where they can find you if they want a commission, where they can support this fantastic piece of art, where they can support this book. Please go there, get this book. Let's get it going. It's only got a few $100s left. Go support it. You got to read it. I read it. Jamie read it. It's amazing. Dave, yes. Dave, tell people where they can find it, you get a commission from you, and to support your stuff, please.
Absolutely. So if you go into Google and you type in this handle right here, Dave Swartz Art, you will find everything. You will find my Facebook page, my Twitter page, my Instagram page, my YouTube page, the Patreon that I have for this book, as well as the crowdfunder. If you want to go specifically to the crowdfunder for the book, I would just go right onto any of my social media pages. I have just posts and posts and posts and posts and posts with links and links and links. So you cannot miss it if you find me on social media.
There you have it. Jamie, where can everyone find you and us each and every week, every day, and for the rest of our lives?
You can find me everywhere at thatwonderwoman.1 or both of us at theangrygeekshow.com or on Facebook and Instagram at The Angry Geeks.
And we'll see you guys next week. Thank you for joining. No, you did. I'm proud of you. Look at that. And thank you for watching us tonight. Please support Dave. Read the book. I wish I could tell you guys the ending, the cliffhanger. What's in the box?
You're just gonna have to read
That's all I gotta say. See, go read it. What's in the box? That's all I gotta say. What's in the box? See you next week.
This has been an Earplug Podcast presentation. Found on earplugpodcast.com, iTunes, SoundCloud, and wherever your favorite podcasts are found.